The following is a Productions original series.
Hello and welcome to Walk and Roll Live. I'm Doug Vincent, joined by Addie Rich. Our podcast is dedicated to amplifying the voices of the disability community. I'm a polio survivor.
Yep, you are, and I have cerebral palsy.
And how was your week?
It was a good week, but the world, the time is just flying. I don't know about you, but I'm like, how is it the middle of April? Like, it was just New Year's Eve in my head, right?
I know. I am looking forward to, it's going to be Christmas tomorrow. It feels like, as fast as things are going.
Right?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
and especially we talk about when you get into the spring and summer seasons, I have work travel coming up. I'm coming to Cali to see you and my family. And then and my friend's like, well, we should rent a beach house in July. And I'm thinking, well, that's forever. But then I look at the calendar. And I'm like, no, that would make me, it would be in 2 weeks from now if the way it's moving.
Well, I'm going to Easter this coming weekend at my cousin's house. And, we do it every year. And I'm, look forward to it. I love it. And it felt like it was 3 months away yesterday. And all of a sudden, hey, I haven't gotten a hotel room yet. So got that done. So good to go.
Nice. It's the year of sneak ups, I guess, right? Where it's like, oh, snap. Yeah, I'm with it.
So you said it was a good week. It sounded like there was some fun stuff in there. Anything you care to share?
The weather was great. It was just work. So I work in accounting, if people don't really know that. And so the job that I do, I have to collate a lot of reports by the 10th. And so the work week moves really fast when you're doing that. So there was a lot of that, and just the weather is beautiful. So I think you have a better attitude when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
Still light when you get off of work, even if you spent the day laying in spreadsheets.
You still have some time to enjoy the day.
Yeah, I'm not oh my God, now it's time for bed and I'll do this tomorrow at 6,
Yeah.
So
I know. I love this time of year as the days get longer and
right.
That. And I know people are like, oh, God, I hate this. I want to go back. It's like, I want the winter again. Yeah. What?
Yeah. You're like, what's wrong with you? There's a screw loose.
To each their own, I guess. Yeah.
How was your week?
It was good. Went to the Old Farts Racing Team meeting, which otherwise known as Taco Tuesday at the American Legion Hall. That was fun. Yeah, it was a good turnout because they do a big car show every year. It's at least 30 years now. I think they had their 30th a couple of years ago. They shut down downtown Riverside. They have a cruise through town and all that. It used to be 3 days. Now it's down to one. But it's a fun event, about 1,300 cars.
Oh, wow.
A lot. And Jeeps and buses. And
it's no small feat.
It's not
6 guys that say, hey, beat me on Sunday.
Yeah. And then every year amongst their members, they vote the Grand Marshal in, and that's Richard Mihas this year. And, well-deserved. The guy's been around forever and volunteers and supports and does all that stuff. So
amazing.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. We did that. And then I got the Smart Drive controller.
Yahoo.
And I am happy to report we're going on about 96 hours, and it is not, had an exorcism, or it doesn't need an exorcism. It hasn't been possessed and tried to kill me yet. So,
did you tell those people that it needed an exorcism when they took it with them? Did you say, please put this in the closet? Or
I told everybody that would listen. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I approached them at Abilities Expo.
Right.
When I was there, and and I think I may have said, when I'm sitting there talking to the guy about it, another guy rolled up and had one in his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I know your story. Yeah. So, got that on. Everything's smooth. And it's, other than that, little hitch that it had. Other than that, I love it. I love everything about the way it works over the other, ways that they had you connect with it.
The assistance that it truly provides when not trying to gremlin kill you. Yes, I get that.
Because they had a watch that you wore, and you double tap that to go, and double tapped it to stop, and things like that. And then they had buttons, and of all the things, I really like this. So that was good. Talking with a young lady that I met at Abilities Expo, Vivian, about helping us with some social media I've gone a long way to learn as much as I can, but there's only so much you could teach an old dog and grasp.
Not the truth.
I've done all right. Done all right, but she had a nice meeting with her today, and she's telling me about things that never even entered my mind. I don't know about them, and she's getting a certificate for this. She's going to school and getting a
really cool.
Yeah, so
she's a walking encyclopedia of the most current information.
So we'll see how that goes. And then I want to wish everybody a happy tax day. That's coming up tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You better stay up late if you're not done. Sorry, peeps.
And all those.
Oh, well, by the time you're listening to this, I hope you're not finishing your taxes while listening to us.
Yes. Hopefully we're not your entertainment.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
righty.
used to work in an accounting firm, so I lived the tax season life. I understand.
So I don't know, this is interesting. The shoemaker never gets to his shoes. The mechanic always,
Right.
cars breaking down. How about the accountant that tax done months ago?
No.
No.
Only because of my side gigs and things.
Yeah.
I use an actual accountant to do it for me. I collate the books, so I'm probably like a dream client because I walk in and everything's categorized and labeled and I understand what I can write off and those things. So it's pretty much done, but I want the eyes and I don't want to defend it to the IRS if there were an issue, and that's what you get an accountant for. Most
will
of them
help
that are certified.
defend it. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have somebody
they will
that
defend.
does it for me and has done it for years and years, and I've gotten much better. I used to, you probably relate to this. She used to give me a book that was a book of envelopes, basically.
Yes.
It was like 13 envelopes on a spiral, and you just put stuff. You could either put stuff all for that month, or each one of the envelopes could be, equipment or different expenses, right?
Yeah.
Types of expensive postage or whatever.
Totally.
Yeah. So now, but I now transferred all that to an Excel sheet. So
good job.
Yeah. So I'm probably,
Yes. In my accounting days at the accounting firm, it was in the early 2000s. So I have literally lived the hellish life of a banker's box delivered, where I had to figure out what everything was.
I was
the Excel sheet.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy who shows up with a shoebox full of receipts and like, all right, get it done.
Yeah, I would be like, no, Doug, no.
Yeah, I want to be one of their favorite clients.
Right?
So when it comes time to go to the IRS, they're ready to fight for me. Mm-hmm. I have ulterior motives.
Right?
Yes. I want to thank Rebecca for rejoining us, coming back on. And that took a lot of bravery to tell the story, the whole story.
Yes.
And continue, the her fight. So
to live that story and to make headway for others that are living that story, so they don't have to continue to live that
I think
story.
that was a lot of her motivation, huh? Mm-hmm. And thank you for sharing your part of it too. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So coming up today, we've got an interview with Gary and Crystal from Special Angels, and I'm going to promise you that you're going to love this couple by the time this interview's done. They are amazing. So they run an organization inspired by their grandkids who both had cerebral palsy, and they don't just help people with cerebral palsy or families, or they don't only just help people that have insurance or don't have insurance and they have a need. They'll even help you if you have insurance, but there's some things that insurance doesn't cover.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you fall between the cracks anywhere, shape or form, if you qualify, they're gonna help you out. And you'll hear all about it. We'll do that next. After this word from Aguiar Professional Training.
At Aguiar Professional Training, we know that your greatest asset is your team. Investing in their development, knowledge, and happiness is essential for your business's success and growth. To achieve new heights, it's important to hire intelligent, talented individuals and empower them to excel in their areas of strength and passion. Aguiar is committed to transforming your employees into happier, more productive, and fulfilled individuals. When your team thrives, your business prospers. Wise leaders understand that providing team members with opportunities to shine in their strengths unlocks untapped potential. Elevate your team with Aguiar Professional Training and witness the growth of your business.
From the Aguiar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
We rise one morning light, no fear in our inside our hearts, independence we chase. Through every storm and trials, we find our own space. A world where all can flourish, no limits in sight. Our unity's our power, we shine in the night. Live and thrive, let's blaze a trail worldwide. Stand tall with pride, no need to let behind.
Well, welcome back to Walk and Roll Live, and today we have Special Angels on. That is Gary and Crystal Carpenter are the founders of this organization. We'll find out all about why and when and all those things. Just want to introduce you to Crystal now. How you doing?
Yes, Gary Carpenter is waiting to come on as well. And he wanted to introduce Special Angels to everyone. And I guess here he is. He can use my...
Perfect. Yeah, come on in here, Gary. All right, you haven't missed anything. We're just getting started. And first of all, I guess, want to talk a little bit about your guys' backgrounds. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah, kind of the pre-Special Angels Foundation. I know, real quick, I met this wonderful couple, I don't know, what was it, 6-8 months ago. The Volunteers for Veterans Foundation did a comedy night, and I had the pleasure of meeting them, and we got to talking, and I'm thinking, the wheels start turning. Is exactly the kind of organization that I want to get on Walk and Roll Live and talk about all the things you do for the disabled community. And so we've kind of tried a couple of times and missed, but today we've got you. So
Today's the day.
What were you guys doing before this started? I know you had your own careers going, right?
Yes. Crystal, you can go first.
Yes, I have been a teacher for, 30 years before I retired. And I always had a passion for at-risk students. So I taught in San Bernardino County, superintendent of schools, for my career. And I spent the last 5 years of my career in juvenile, San Bernardino Juvenile Detention Center. And that's when I saw the most severe students. And because I was not as effective as I would like to have been to reach a lot of our students, because the institution has only one way to help our students is through medication in the juvenile halls. Mm-hmm. And so they control their behavior by medicating them. And they don't have a lot of programs or opportunities for the kids to get some type of help outside of that. So it really opened my eyes to the severity of what our kids are faced with when they are institutionalized. The remedy is something that is helpful, which I'm not against medication when it's needed. But I think that some of the disabilities that our kids have can be treated through therapy. Yeah. Right. And learning how to navigate and learning how to control themselves and their outbreaks through, certain types of techniques that can be used professionally. And so I was taken back, and I told our students when I left that I want to do more for you to help your moms and dads and you as well on getting the type of therapy, type of equipment that can benefit you, as opposed to medicating you as young as 11 and 12 years old and expecting you to be natural and perform naturally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A blanket solution.
Yes. Yeah. And so I was, passionate. And then I'll let Gary kind of talk about himself.
Yeah.
Okay. I love my wife's passion. She is the reason why Special Angels is in existence today. In 2017, we started Special Angels. I spent 29 years on the LA City Fire Department. I retired as a fire captain. At the same time, I was running a small business installing surveillance equipment. So we decided in 2017 to launch Special Angels Foundation. And I had to make a decision whether I would do both or dedicate myself to one. And so I dedicated myself to Special Angels.
So really totally retired from work, so to speak.
Yeah, we retired in 2018. And this has been our passion and our mission since then to make sure that we can support our special needs community. And right now we are, coming back. We provide grants throughout the United States because our original mission was to help kids wherever they were. We're refocusing a little bit by helping kids in the Inland Empire, trying to focus in and then work our way out.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Well, first of all, you both obviously have a heart for service.
Yes.
That shows in your careers there. And then, so when you both retired, you're probably looking for something to give your lives purpose after you retire, and you've got a lot of time on your hands. And so this is where all that energy is gone. And when you guys talk about doing it nationwide, I'm thinking that's a pretty big undertaking just to try to serve, the Inland Empire, right?
Yeah, it is. It's we've developed and we keep developing the way that we process our grants to try to maximize, trying to cover stuff that other organizations won't cover.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, every 3 to 6 months, we take a look at what we're doing, and then we trying to make sure that we're staying, within our scope and to try and help as many kids as we can.
Yeah. Kind of make some adjustments.
Yes.
So where does the funding come from? I know you guys do fundraisers, and we'll talk about that. Anywhere else?
Yeah. Well, right now we developed a program 3 years ago, I think it was, maybe or so, where we're asking for monthly donors.
Okay.
So if you donate monthly, at that point, you are getting into our events for free.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, nice.
So we were able to, sustain ourselves through the pandemic and everything just based on that.
Nice.
And then we fundraise. We have a couple fundraisers coming up. We have Boots and Bling Ladies Night
Nice.
fundraiser coming up, and in May the 3rd. And then we have our first annual golf tournament coming up at Red Hill Country Club on July the 28th.
Right.
Then we apply for a couple grants as well.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring this thing to as many people as we can, but especially our disabled children in the Inland Empire right now.
Right.
So events like that takes a lot of volunteers. Where do you get volunteers from? Can't be doing that all on your own.
Well, no.
Yeah.
We have board members, a couple board members that help out, and then we have a host of people who like to volunteer.
Yeah.
Every time we have an event, we get people that like to volunteer. We're also going to the high schools and the colleges, and we're getting volunteers from there.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're open to any and all volunteers to come and help out, and so far it's been phenomenal.
Right.
That's awesome.
Can you maybe help people understand like the different disabilities that you address? Are there core ones that you really focus on, or you're open to everything?
Yeah, the number one, I think, most diagnosed. We're at a Inland Empire IEHP meeting yesterday, and the number one. Oh, you were there. That's right.
But go ahead for the listeners.
I look across the table and I'm like, I know him from somewhere. I didn't know if it was a past meeting or if it was somewhere, and it clicked. Yeah.
And autism is the biggest disability that children are facing today. But we deal with every disability, ADHD, autism, whatever their disability is. They cerebral palsy.
Yeah,
So whatever, so whatever disability they have, as long as it's documented, we can accept that as to help them out. So I've heard of we had a young man called Wolf. What is it?
Wakers or
no Wolf something. I'm sorry, Wolf something. I can't remember now. Syndrome, which Never heard of it before. The Wolff-Weyeracre syndrome,
Okay.
and it's a muscle
Degenerative.
disease. We adopted him for a while, and then after a while they kind of disappeared. We couldn't find them anymore. But what a great family! So any and all disabilities we support from age 0 to 17.
Right.
Now, I know your passion also comes from your family. You have a couple of grandsons, right, that have CP?
Granddaughter and son.
Granddaughter and
Yeah,
grandson.
they are twins.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Nice.
Yes.
And your grandson's with us today, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We should introduce
Eli's hanging out.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He's going to be here for spring break. The most, yes, and that is difficult as well, but it was an eye opener. Sometimes people don't understand what a person with disability go through unless they are affected by someone close to them or one of their family members, and then they have to care for them. And it brings a different understanding. It impacts your life differently. Mm-hmm. When before I was introduced to this with children this severe, I had mouths, to moderate severe children, but never to the severity that I am faced with now. And it when a kid can't verbalize, when they have cortical blindness, or they have an inability to sit up or do anything independently for themselves.
Right.
These things are traumatic for a person that has to go through it, as well as the caretaker.
Yeah.
And so it impacts your life differently than just walking by and seeing a person disabled. And so when this happened to me, it took me from, just having a different perspective on why we as people need to support and help families as well as individuals that are suffering from this.
Right.
And there is a large percentage of our population, whether they are young or old, that are suffering from some type of disability. So it will one day impact a lot of people more than they may know today, because I didn't know when I was in my 40s or 30s, the impact that it would have on me today. Yeah. So I know that progression definitely will change your perspective sometime. If you ever fall and break your leg or whatever, and you have to have a cast on for a while, you will see differently.
Yeah, get a little glimpse, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm nosy. I'm allowed to be nosy as the CPO, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
How old are the twins? And is it different for each of them? Because I know CP is different for all of us.
Yes. Yes. Well, they are 12 now. Okay. And Ezra is Eli and Ezra is able to communicate.
Okay.
She's aware and she's able to go to the mainstream classes.
Okay.
However, Eli, when he was, they both were born prematurely.
Yes.
Eli had an intestinal infection at 2.5 pounds, where he had to have major surgery to remove his intestines, then let him heal. They cut the intestines, and laid them on his stomach until they heal, and then they had to go back in and reattach them. Well, this gave him a more severe brain bleed than Ezra. Right. So he lost his ability to speak. He has cortical blindness, and he has the most severe cerebral palsy.
Gotcha.
And so he's 12, but he's an infant in that respect.
Well, he's 12. He's 12 somewhere in there. He just can't tell you all about it.
Yes.
He's living his own little world. I can tell you that.
Yes, yes. And he's the sweetest young man ever. But, through his disability, we have to care for him 24 hours.
Right.
Yes.
He's locked in a little box, unfortunately.
Yes.
So you're talking about the caretakers And that's a 24/7, 365 job,
Right.
right? So is there anything that you offer for the caretakers, especially if they're family members, to get maybe a break? Somebody can take care of them. I mean, it sounds like that's what you're doing for your kids, and I'm sure you love to have them too, but,
Yes.
But do you do that for families that may not have that support, where they can get a day away just to be alone and be, doing their own things for a change?
Currently, we do not have respite care. It is it's something that I think every family needs, but the cost is prohibitive.
Yeah.
And then the request would be prohibited also. So how do you grant one family respite and not another family when there's 1,000 families that need it?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would love to do that, but we just haven't found a vehicle to support that.
And financially, we haven't. But it's so needful.
Yeah.
It is so needful for the caretaker to have that time, whether it's the parent or someone that can come in, one of the relatives or friends. And the most difficult thing I think that a lot of our kids and families suffer from is that the longer the disability, the less people want to help.
Right. You don't break your leg, heal, and get over it. Then people are like,
Right. And so my daughter, she's a CPS worker, and she works at night because she can't work during the day because of the kids. She, needing their help that she provides. However, she works from 10 to 8. She get limited sleep because she has to come home and take care of her kids, get them off to school, feed them and clothe them and so forth. And so, developmentally, they are not, growing at the normal rate. So she has to do all this. And it's really tiring, being up all night and then having to navigate. And I wish that we had more people in the world that could support us, because we are a small foundation. But if we were larger, and have the resources coming in financially, we would be able to open up more opportunities to be a help.
Exactly.
So it is definitely, we hold events and we express what we are faced with. And we just pray that people will have an open heart to this gift. $20, $25 a month. And that adds up to affect someone's life.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll definitely give you an opportunity to kind of get into the nuts and bolts of that a little bit later. But also, what was I going to ask? It was very profound.
It was so profound. So if you guys don't offer respite, what services are offered through your foundation that people come to you for, or how does that work?
Okay, so how it works is we supply the funding for what therapies and equipment that they need. Okay. So they go to our website, they apply for a grant, they have to attach proof of disability, and then depending on what it is, what we don't cover are toys and fences and cars. We don't cover stuff like that, but right. We cover the any type of assistive equipment. Like we do a lot of communication devices. There's a company called Tobii Dynavox, which supplies those, but we found some other outlets as well. And then for therapy, we help with co-pays and deductibles.
Awesome.
So if a parent has, the $25 a month they got to pay or a session, then we would usually come in and trying to cover as many of those sessions as they can so they can keep some money in their pocket.
Nice.
Also, right now, we are working with the Fontana Police Department with a program called Junior Flip.
Okay.
Junior Flip is the Fontana Leadership Intervention Program. So when youngsters are at-risk students, they go through this program, and once they graduate from the program, they send them to a summer camp.
Okay.
And so we're going to be providing grants for the special needs kids to go to summer camp.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So our organization is a little unique in that we cover every disability. We don't focus on one. We're not the autism, speaks or one of those organizations. We cover them all. And so anything that the child we feel that can help them develop into a stronger individual is what we're trying to help them with.
Right.
Nice.
Just to touch on a couple of things, you mentioned bigger organizations or smaller ones like yourselves. I'm more prone to help organizations like yourself and give them a voice on this program because, the big ones seem to have the resources. You'll see them, with infomercials and things like that. And I'm sure, you're not going to spend your hard-earned and hard dollars on things like that. You want it to go to helping people. So I'm more inclined to give you guys a voice than some of those other organizations. And I'm also wondering, there's so many, I'm sure, so many examples, but is there an example that stands out about someone that you helped and it made a profound impact on their family and them?
Yeah, there, like you said, there's quite a few. On our YouTube channel, we have a lot of testimonials. But I think the one that really that touched me was a young man who had that Wolff-Wiaker syndrome. What we actually did, the Chino prison were awarding us a grant for the work that we do in the community, and we invited him and his parents. And to see that he couldn't walk, but he had a little walker and he had a communication device. And the way everybody at the prison lit up when he came in, that touched my heart. We got pictures with him and he was just so expressive. And his family was so thankful that, we were, providing him with the support that he needed. I think for me, that's what touched me the most.
Right. And there's a Chloe.
I have one that really touched me is this parent applied for a bicycle for her Chloe. Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's on our website as well, but she was never able to go outside and interact with her friends or anyone in the community because she had a mild form of cerebral palsy. Mm-hmm. Where she was unable to walk, and so we purchased her bike. And the video is on our website, but the therapists have her walking over to her bike and getting on. And her mother wrote us a beautiful letter thanking us, saying now this is the time that she can go out and be a part of the community and the children because she was unable to walk. And so these things like that, it takes your heart away when you know that your dollar went to a child being able to experience something that we take for granted as human beings. But when a child is able to do something that they were not able to do, growing up because of their disability. So yes, her story, her life and her struggles, these things are real. And they are living and breathing in our world today. And it just a little bit of our time, of our resources that we can help these kids. It really does. It really affects your life in a different way.
I know for you guys, you work very hard at all of this. And it's not all glamorous work, right? You're doing the administration and the fundraising and all those things that take time. But that's what keeps you going is those kind of moments, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the why.
Yes.
Yeah, and the caveat to that is we don't take a salary.
Right.
So all of
So this is the passion of your passion.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
I'm glad you met. I assume that, but
we don't take a salary.
No.
No one takes a salary on our board except for our treasurer. Because she's, keeping our books.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, it's important. Yes.
That's a particular skill set.
Absolutely.
You want to talk a little bit about the fundraisers you've got coming up?
Yes, I'll let Crystal talk about the boots and bling one, and I'll talk about the golf tournament.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, you mentioned about how we give our parents and a time to just have respite.
Yeah.
Now, I had a vision. I wanted to do country western girls' night out, and I wanted to do that for the moms because it's in May. It's going to be May 3rd, and it's a week before Mother's Day. And so I wanted to bring all the women's out, dress up in country western and just have a good time. We're going to have line dancing. We're going to have a comedy show. We're going to have bingo. And then we're going to have a time where people that want to sign up to model their country western outfit, they're going to be able to come on stage, model, and the audience is going to be able to select who's the winner. And so just make it fun and interactive. And I just want to have a high energy night just to celebrate our moms and our supporters and bring more awareness to the need that we have to continue to come out and support us, raise money so that we can help our children. So that is going to be May 3rd. It's going to be at the Heritage Event Center in Fontana from 5 to 10. And if you are interested, you can go to Special Angels Foundation. We have our flyer on our website and come out and be a part. It's going to make a difference in our children's lives.
And a mechanical bull, I see.
Yeah. Well, we having a struggle right now with the mechanical bull because, the facility is concerned. So we working through that.
Good.
It might happen or it might not, but the most important thing, everything else will happen.
Good music, dancing, all the fun. I like it.
Yes. And next time if this is a success, we want to do cowboy and cowgirls.
Nice. So we're going to say when this is a big success. We're not going to say yes. We're going to say when.
Yes.
Manifest it.
Yes.
We're in manifesting land.
Yes.
All right, Gary, you're up. Let's talk about the golf tournament.
Yes, on July the 28th, we're having our first annual golf tournament at the Red Hill Country Club in Rancho Cucamonga. Last year we had, or the last couple years, we were doing not golf tournaments, but golf events at Top Golf.
Right.
In Ontario. So last year, we had about 236 people come out to our event.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah. So the whole top floor of the Top Golf, we took that over. And we had such fun. We made some good money to help our children. So one of my stepson actually has a golf shop he teaches golf at Rancho.
Oh, nice.
So we got together and said, well, why don't we do a real golf tournament?
Right.
So we, we're working with that right now. We're putting it together. We're getting warm reception from, a lot of people there and a lot of people throughout, the Inland Empire to come out and support us. So we're looking forward to it. There's going to be, silent auction and raffles and music and food and, so Tam's Burgers has already agreed to, do breakfast for us, donate breakfast for us. I'm trying to get my college teammate, Kurt Rambis, who, we play ball in college together, trying to get him to get a foursome to come out. And he's going to get back to me on that. Yeah. So, we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
Looks like got all the things too.
Fire fam. Your fire fam.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. I already have, I think 2 or 3 of my former colleagues are going to come to the golf tournament.
Nice.
Got the hole-in-one contest, close to the pin, longest drive, all that good stuff. So are you a scratch golfer, Gary?
I'm not.
You are not.
Scratch my leg while they're golfing, but that's far as
right?
Yeah, but my stepson is an avid golfer. He's really good. And my grandson,
nice.
He's a really good golfer. So we're going to,
good day to be out there hanging out, right?
It'll be a beautiful day.
And that's July 28th. Excellent.
Yes. Monday.
And your website is on our website. We have a resource page, and so you can go there and find it. If they have any trouble finding it, it's on our page as well. And
All right.
we have an events page, so we'll get your events up there soon, so people can
Very
click
nice.
through. Do what we can. We do what we can. So
We appreciate that.
let's talk a little bit about, like you were talking about having donors that are donating monthly. How did they go about signing up for that program?
Okay, what they do is we have a link that we put on all the social media outlets. They can click on it. It goes to it brings up to $25 a month. Of course, you can donate as much as you want, but we just kind of figured, it was at 83 cents a day for $25 a month is a lot to some, but not a lot to others. And so whatever we can get, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be $25, but whatever, people can give from the heart, we would just highly appreciate it because, we're on a mission to, bring more resources to the Inland Empire for our special needs kids and families. And, we're reaching out to the Inland Resource Center. We're reaching out to different organizations to try and understand what we're doing. We're working with Aquanetta Warren, the mayor of Fontana, and so we're working with different people in the community trying to get our word out and find out what is the best niche, what is the best use of our resources to help these kids in the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're a couple that have a vision. You're doing what you're doing now, but you still have a vision. What's on your list? I'm sure you have a list of things you'd like to do. You want to share a few of those with us?
Sure. Yeah. What we'd like to do is first we have a multi-pronged idea or strategy. One is that we're going to focus more in the Inland Empire on summer camps for special needs kids.
Yeah.
So right now we're doing that. And then after we have success with that, then we're going to go to the ABA therapy in the Inland Empire, and some of the gyms that support special needs kids. We also have reached out to the Special Olympics. So the Special Olympics and us, we did a toy drive at the end of last year where they came out, our athletes came out and they, helped us pass toys out. So we're going to try to get more involved with, like the Challenger program where the special needs kids play baseball, just trying to support more local entities. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing over the next, year or so is refocusing.
Right. Well, I think that's, speaking as somebody with CP, I think that's a huge deal because integrating into community and feeling like everybody else as much as possible with slight adaptations is huge for any child, honestly.
Yeah.
Quote unquote normal or not, to feel community, there's a lot more barriers sometimes to feeling part of the community when you need adaptation. So the more fluid pieces that can be put in place to integrate and make it kind of seamless and teach other kids that it's okay to be different, or hey, they do it, they just do it a little different, is huge. So
Right.
a lot of times they're like, it's really important for people like you guys because it's not here, just take this equipment and go sit over there. It's
Right.
hey, build you a life by giving you a community.
Correct.
Right.
Tremendous.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's what our new or not new, but our adjusted focus is to, not, of course, we're going to continue to give, grants for equipment and therapy, but trying to be more inclusive, trying to find programs that can be more inclusive to special needs children.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's tremendous. I think exposure for kids that don't have a difference and then kids that have a difference is huge too, because it shapes how you treat people the rest of your life.
That is
Because,
correct.
hey, if you made that friend at summer camp and you guys did arts and crafts or whatever, some version of arts and crafts, you always kind of have that story that later informs how you, whether you're the one that says, hey, come sit at our table. Hey, come eat with us. Hey, come, do this, do that, whatever. So summer camp is a great base
Yes.
for creating that from the get-go, and just to get outside, like you said, Chloe with the bike, getting her outdoors and like giving her something. So
Right.
summer camp, not that all kids complain about summer camp, but some of us really want to go to summer camp.
Right. Yes.
Oh, yes. So,
Yeah.
in addition to funds, there's other ways that they can kind of support you guys too, is with volunteerism.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do they contact you?
We have on our website, we have a place where they can volunteer. But we are also going out to these vendor fairs, and we are talking to folks at the vendor fairs about, volunteering. And then students need the hours for, volunteerism. So whether they're high school, there's some college students that need, hours. And so we're wide open to help any person that wants to volunteer. We are open.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
I did Teach for America, and I worked in the juvenile hall as well when I went to high school and college. That was like one of my passions as well. So I'm over the moon that's kind of your guys' thing too, because I think there's such tremendous power in showing those kids that there's a world beyond them, and like helping them to tailor their road back to I don't want to say a smarter path, but like a more productive path. And there's a lot of compassion in the kids in there, but maybe the life that they've been handed was not compassionate to them. So rotating them to humanize. I mean, basically they lose human connection because they're institutionalized and they're medicated, and it's just a blanket solution. So I think it's brilliant to kind of marry the communities and say, hey, work beyond yourself. Like you can get your hours for your sentence or whatever you want to call it by coming and volunteering at our event. And then, you have the soft-hearted kid in a hard shell who suddenly realizes that they love picking up the baseball for that kid that couldn't pick up the baseball.
That is very true. You absolutely are telling the truth, because I used to have kids come stay behind to help me clean the classroom.
Yeah.
And that was something that they look forward to, worked hard at it, to be one of the kids that can stay behind. And then just spending one-on-one time with a student, it opened my eyes to their potential that they never have been shown. And I said, you know what? Sometimes we as adults, and sometimes families have so many kids sometimes. Yeah. They have maybe 5 or 6 kids they have to work with. Yeah. And they don't have the time to really give one kid that opportunity to really just focus on themselves. Right. And I have ran into this situation so many times where no one spent a lot of time with them.
Oh, for sure.
I said, you know what? Just spending time with this kid, I show them their potential. I get them involved in, you know what? Why don't you help me organize these books or decorate the wall? And they come alive.
Oh, 100%.
Simple things. So I absolutely know what you are talking about.
Yeah, when I did Teach for America, and I was in the inner city Atlanta. That's what actually moved me to Georgia, where I am. And, I basically ran with cerebral palsy and using a wheelchair most of the time. I basically ran my classroom by getting kids to help me. And they wanted to be the kid to help me. I'd be like, okay, it's the time to change the bulletin board. Well, I'm not going to get up there, but, so-and-so wants to jump up on the counter and hang leaves for an hour because they did that. And, just the fact that like you love them through attention or whatever. I mean, Teach for America was the hardest thing I ever did in my whole life, but it's the best thing I ever did in my whole life because, I have 70 kids that I still call my kids because
that's true.
Because they're my kids.
They are.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Another aspect, as you were explaining that, I'm thinking to myself, this presentation we saw yesterday, Gary and Crystal was talking about a lot about employing people with disabilities. And those are the kinds of things that turned into a positive for you. Your disability turned into almost a tool that you used in the classroom to bring those kids out.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
I mean, it was very interesting too for me because, kids are so resilient, but you can play the game of who has it harder. Well, I on the outside, I show what what you see my body, kids have never won. Being in Atlanta, I'm a different color than a lot of them, but I also look way different. And I was able to expand their mind about okay, this is what's hard for me. I can't do X. What's hard for you? And so it's suddenly not scary to talk about the difference or how they could get around it, which was a huge deal. And I'm sure some of the kids that volunteer for you guys kind of find that.
Yes.
Because they feel slighted and cheated by society or the system or whatever. And then they go help a Special Olympics kid is a co-runner or something. And then they're like, whoa, this ain't hard for me. What am I talking about? I think.
Well, what was exciting to me is during the Christmas toy giveaway, the Special Olympics kids that came, they all came with their medals.
Yeah, they're
they
look
were
at this.
so proud. Oh, it was fantastic. So we were taking pictures with the medals. They were holding them up. It was just a wonderful time. We're gonna do it again this year as well. We're gonna be partnering with County Supervisor Jesse Armendariz. He was our Santa Claus last year.
Oh, how fun!
So we want to do it bigger and better this year, and get more kids involved. And we're going to reach out to the Special Olympics again and have them supply us with a few more athletes to come out and help us out. So it was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Sounds like your life passion is potential of people, no matter what their challenge is.
Yeah.
Either in your past jobs or your current job or, everything.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome.
Well, thank you guys for taking some time and joining us and sharing your story with us. We appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you running into you again.
Mm-hmm.
Our first time we met at the Volunteers for Veterans comedy, show, we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
Sorry it took us so long to come on.
Looks pretty lovable.
Hopefully you'll have us come back again at some point.
And we so appreciate
I just knew I had to keep stalking you. That's all.
We really appreciate the opportunity. And please, everyone, please go to Special Angels Foundation .org and get involved.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Each week on Walk and Roll Live, we share honest and open stories of people living with a disability.
In terms of my goals, I'm really enjoying life right now. I'm looking for a way to retire at 44 and just pursue this wheelchair athletics career of mine. So if you have any ideas, I'd really appreciate it.
Join us weekly for another powerful episode. Walk and Roll Live, wherever you get your podcasts. Life Limitless. Subscribe now.
Well, I don't know if anybody else is as inspired by this story as I am. I'm a bit biased. Obviously, their grandkids and I are all the same club.
Those are your people.
Those are my people, my tribe.
Tribe.
Just see people who have taken the passion and, people retire and they say, okay, I'm going to go on a cruise. I'm going to, I don't know, learn bridge or do something. And here are these people that said, no, you know what? We're healthy. We have, because before that, maybe it was just an idea. And then now they have grandchildren that obviously personally tie them there, but you can tell if you've already listened and made it to this end, that that's in their souls to just be of service to others and to fight the good fight. And I mean, even by the jobs they had.
I was going to say, I really got the feeling that they were that kind of people before. Yeah.
They picked service-oriented jobs, being a teacher and a firefighter. You don't go into those lightly. So bravo. Awesome.
Glad to have them on. And they've got a few events coming up. So look on either their webpage, which is on our webpage, on the resources page, or we'll put the events up on our events page. So, and they've got a few fundraisers throughout the year. So check it out. Some fun stuff. And if you have an event or an organization that you would like to highlight, I am starting to kind of just Google stuff and look for other programs
Yeah.
like we have here in Southern California, around the country, and invite them to come on. I haven't gotten any responses yet, but
for sure. For the fact that also, like me living here in Georgia, I get rather jealous because I'm like, oh my God, I need to go home. I need to go do all these things.
I can't remember now, but there was one in my search that came up in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think in the Atlanta area. I'll share it with you and see if it's one that you're familiar
all
with.
these people are just so inspiring. I'm like, oh, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why did Addie come home? Well, because she got a whole crowd, except she can't afford California, so she lives in a closet.
So Addie has an idea that she's been threatening to follow through on. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know what I'm talking about.
Is this the summit that I want to do? Yes. I'm trying to. I'm goading Doug into doing some sort of like reunion or hangout. I don't know what to call it necessarily yet, but something where all of these cool people that I feel like should know each other, if they don't already, we all get to hang out. It's just me being selfish. I'm like, put me in a room with everybody.
It's for you, right? Yes.
It is for me, but I'm saying it's community.
Great idea. I'm on board. It's just
I've been told I have to steer the boat. So,
you're
ladies
the coordinator
and gentlemen,
on
I
this.
will try. I will try.
Very good.
It may be Zoomed. Maybe we do a Zoom, and then that's how we just solve our problem. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Well, I'm in a level on Zoom where I can get 500 people in a meeting. So
let's do it.
That's our cap.
We got this. 500 people. We would like you to come. We don't know when it is yet, and we know nothing about it, but we'll tell you when we do.
Another great guy we talked to recently is Shane Martinell. He's an SCI, spinal cord injury survivor, but so much more in this interview that, it's jam-packed full of just some insights and experiences that he's come through, more than just the SCI, and it all kind of comes together to make an extraordinary young man. So we'll talk with him next week. All right.
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, you have a good week. Looking forward to you coming out here soon.
Happy Easter, people. If you celebrate,
Easter. Yeah.
Eat some candy.
And thank you for listening. I'm your host, Doug Vincent, with Addie Rich from the Agyar Professional Training Studio. This has been Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories, Life Limitless.